what I was watching on Jimmy Kimmel, and he said that most of this was done, completely on a computer screen and what have you.
Yeah.
Like some directors, like they talk about when there's an actual set, you have more ideas to like, okay, we'll set the camera here. But
for sure.
With the fact there are no restrictions.
Yeah. So what we do is we create restrictions.
Right.
So normally what you do is you'd have pencils and storyboards. You'd sometimes, even if you're shooting something, you'd shoot like a person in front of a green screen, and that's your superhero, and now you're going to create the background. But honestly, you're still leaving a lot of decisions to be made later, and that's not how I grew up learning how to make movies, whether it was as an actor or a director.
You're blocking it and everything.
Right. So you want, but the way I work when I'm directing a film is I have just like I have great cast, I have my great behind the scenes, behind the camera crew, cinematographer, production designer, all that. And you go to locations and you scout them and you talk and you walk around, you look, you check the light, you check the environment, you see what's going to work. Well, we were able to emulate that here because we created our environments virtually, but because of VR, we were able to load all of that into this multiplayer filmmaking VR game. And so when we designed our environments, and we would even have the animation available to us there, we would all put the headsets on and be able to walk around as though we were really in Africa and look around in proper scale and say, hey, is this a good shot? Or we could put Simba over there. Or would it be great if we have the sun coming up behind Pride Rock? And then we could, let's go to this side of the line. Like all the little conversations that you have where you're iterating and creating the creative language of the project, and you get into this group think. We were able to emulate all that using these new technological tools.
I've never heard of a film being done this way.
Nobody's done it
It's
before.
never been done before.
Yeah.
What were the lessons you learned from that?
It was creating tools that didn't require the filmmakers to work in a different way than they would in live action. We're working with Caleb Deschanel. He's never done a visual effects film before.
Yeah.
And how do we make it feel the same as though he were filming the animals in the Black Stallion? And so we built tools that made it very intuitive for analog filmmakers to jump into the digital realm. And then we were able to figure out a way for us to even pull the entire film crew in. So when we shot it or filmed it digitally, we had dolly grips pushing dollies, and Caleb would run the camera on the wheels and would communicate with his dolly grip, and all that would be pushing cameras around inside VR.
That's really interesting.
And we would generate dailies that would go to editorial, and they would cut it together as though they were dailies from a live-action film. And so that's why it has a different feel than most digital movies.
Yeah, because like you can sense that tactile kind of thing of like, there was a decision to make place the camera here.
All of those things that you can't consciously program into a spline, but if two characters are walking and one moves left, one moves right, you feel the camera operator make a decision which way, what they're going to follow.
Yeah.
And those are all subconscious decisions, and we wanted to create a context that emulated the shooting environment so it felt the same way.
Do you see yourself making another film like this again, or is it a case of, no, this is once, I've done this now?
Well, right now I'm so invested in The Mandalorian, and I've been writing them, and we've been working on it for overlapping this one, as a matter of fact, because I was writing it during the post-production here. But you could use a lot of these same game engine tools as we are, but because we have live-action figures, it changes the workflow. So we start with very similar to how we shot Lion King, which is using VR, virtual production, figuring out how we're going to shoot things, what we're going to build. But then we're using game engine technology to create images that having positional tracking data on the camera itself allows us to throw the background set extension images onto a video wall and actually move the parallax with the camera. And so what you're getting is, instead of asking an actor or a crew to line up on a blue screen, we're actually allowing the camera and the actors to see what's going to be in the background. And we get all the interactive light and reflections from that screen. And that's building on a lot of the tools that we used actually in Jungle Book as well. So every one of these projects creates a new set of tools and a deeper understanding that I have that opens doors for me to tell other stories in different ways. So all of the stuff that was geared around the savannas of Africa now translate to Tatooine or the Outer Rim and Star Wars. So it's very interesting how all of these things inspire one another.
Yeah. I would just, final point, I mean, what's the reaction been to the actors?
Oh, they love it because
really?
because you see what's around you. You don't have to imagine it. You don't have to react to something that's not there. And it's so convincing, actually, that people have visited the set. So I thought you weren't building sets. I thought you were just using video walls. One of our stages is completely encased with a ceiling and around spherical video walls.
Jesus.
And when you walk in and you don't know any better, you look and you see the set, and it's extended into the background using the game engine. And unless the camera's moving, you lock in and you think that you're really in a big set. It's all forced perspective. It fools your eye.
Yeah.
You don't realize you're looking at something flat.
Everything you see exists together in a delicate balance. While others search for what they can take, a true king searches for what he can give.